Hey guys, Godzilla 851 here, back with our Godzilla retrospective, and we're going to be looking at the film Godzilla Tokyo S.O.S, or Godzilla Tokyo S.O.S. In my opinion, the end of the Millennium series. Now, I know there's a film after this, Godzilla Final Wars, that is seen as the final film of the franchise for the Millennium series, but when I get into that film, you'll see why I say this is the last of the Millennium series. Okay? So, Godzilla Tokyo S.O.S. Big star cast in this. Great visual effects starting off as we cut to a year later after Mechagodzilla and Godzilla battled in Tokyo. Mechagodzilla is being repaired, however, it lost its right arm and the Absolute Zero gun seems to be gone. When deep beneath the sea in a Japanese trench, a waking Godzilla is there. Not really doing anything, but, you know, the king awakens. As we cut to later that night, an unidentified flying object is seen in American space, and it enters Japanese space. They scramble some jets, and they try to shoot down this object. However, this very symphonic music starts playing, and scans come in from a local satellite, and they see the colors of Mothra on her wing. So, already off the bat, we have Mechagodzilla, Godzilla, and Mothra starting off the film as we get our opening title scroll. Cut to the next night. It's snowing out, and we get to meet some of our main characters of the film. Number one is a mechanic that works on Mechagodzilla, or Mecha G for short in this film. Next off is his nephew, who comes into play very well later in the film. But most of all, we got this guy. Yes, the returning actor from not only the film Mothra vs. Godzilla, but also he was in the original film Mothra back in the early 60s. Playing the same character, so this isn't really a sequel to Mothra vs. Godzilla, because remember, the franchise dies after Godzilla every time they reboot the franchise, but this is a sequel to Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, so I guess you say, in a way, it's a sequel, but not to Godzilla, or Mothra vs. Godzilla. It's a sequel to Godzilla and Mothra. So, they're talking about this model aircraft that Yoshi just built, and an earthquake happens. However, it's not really a traditional earthquake because these very nice voices start speaking, played by these two girls. Yes, the Shobijin of the film. Now, they were the Cosmos in the Heisei series, the Elias in the later Heisei series for Mothra's reboot, and I guess they're the Shobijin because they refer to the original twin fairies from the original film of Mothra, and they're known as Shobijin. There's blah 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 blah. So they come to the doctor, and the doctor says, "What can I do for you?" And they say, "Godzilla's bones must be returned to the sea." And Yoshi, the mechanic, comes downstairs and he's like, "Uncle, what's going on?" "Oh, hello, ladies." And they're like, "You must return Godzilla's bones to the sea, and no human being is allowed to meddle with the dead, or spirits of the dead." And Yoshi says, well, that's well and good, but what happens when Godzilla returns? And you know he will return. They say Mothra will protect them. Okay. As Yoshi is skeptical, the Shobijin decide to leave, and they look outside and they see... And she takes flight and leaves the area. As the Doctor is gathering up his notes and pictures from the original expedition to Infinite Island, we cut to our facility where Mechagodzilla is being rebuilt. And repairs are coming along well, however, not as fast as they wanted to, as Yoshi seems to be still shaken up by the Shobijin. We meet a new crew. For Mechagodzilla. The new pilots for the new White Herons, and a new pilot for Mechagodzilla. Okay, so where's Akane, by the way? Because you feel that she has the most to prove, and the arc of her story that begun in the film prior would come to an end in this. Oh no! They take all 3 remaining pilots and service people who worked with Mechagodzilla in the last film, and they're sending them away to learn how to be better pilots, I think in America. They didn't realize that we got a Mechagodzilla of our own. Well, what's the deal? But okay, they're moving away. Why don't you keep Akane? She's got the most to prove against Godzilla. So they bring in this new group. They're fine, I guess, except for the pilot. I really don't like this guy. I don't know what it is about him, I just don't like him. Yeah, he can punch a fly out of the air. Okay, go punch Godzilla in the toe, see what happens. Okay? So... this kid's really cocky and acting all tough. As Yoshi goes to look at Mechagodzilla in the hangar, Akane says to him on her way out that I don't think Mechagodzilla wants to fight anymore as she leaves. Thanks for coming, Yumiko Shaku. I'd rather you've been in this film more, but, you know, okay, let's move on, I guess. As Yoshi's uncle, the Doctor, goes to the Japanese government and begs them to shut down the Mechagodzilla project and return the bones of Godzilla back out to sea. And they say that he's insane. They refuse to listen to him. As Yoshi is being hassled by... you know, new Mr. Tough Guy Top Gun pilot, okay, they can punch flies out of the air, big deal. Yoshi's brought in and they ask him, hey, is this true? He stays pretty silent, though, as they're talking. Cut to a day later, and this puppy comes up on land. Yes, Kamibas from the film Yog. A Kamibas that was in the film, however, is come up on land in Japan, showing that this universe is a lot bigger than one would originally think. Apparently, not only Gojira was the beginning point of this, Mosoda was there. They were talking about War of the Gargantuas in the last film, and now they're bringing up Yog. Well, this monster's dead. Okay, massive cuts in the neck. Only one thing could have done that. A super predator, also known as Godzilla. So this causes the Japanese government to push forward with Mechagodzilla, getting him up to speed and ignoring the good doctor from earlier. You know, they're pushing forward and they're saying, oh, Mechagodzilla can't move, oh, he can move, I want the what's it called? Absolute Zero. give me a synthetic diamond this big and I'll fix it tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah. They finally get Mechagodzilla fixed. Godzilla awakens, and they try to fight him off with conventional weapons, but he's just too powerful. He comes back to Tokyo. Sporting the same scar from the year before. So they immediately say it's the same Godzilla, giving the idea that there might be several Godzillas in this franchise, making the story a little bigger. I like that. It's really cool. Godzilla's attacking. However, they don't launch Mechagodzilla at first. But who does come to our rescue? Take a look. That's right. Mothra has arrived, and she begins attacking Godzilla. The two battle in the city. As Mothra flies in from a huge rising sun, setting sun, actually. The two battle deep into the night. Godzilla again coming out on top. Cut to Infant Island, and our Shobijin begin, singing. And, of course, this Mothra, we have to have this. Yes. An egg. And what's inside of this egg? Yes. Twin larvae. And of course they begin heading towards Tokyo. So as Mothra is being beat up, the Prime Minister finally says, alright, we must save Mothra because reasons. Send out Mechagodzilla. Godzilla is sent out, and we get another awesome stare down between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. Those two begin battling, and the pilot of Mechagodzilla, alright, fine, he's okay. What I neglected to say earlier is that the nephew of Yoshi actually finds this pendant that was left for the doctor, and he builds a sign in the middle of the school, to attract Mothra. And through the rubble and the debris and the smashing, they get knocked out. So Yoshi is told he's off duty, and he goes out to find his uncle and his nephew. Finding them, but they're a little beaten up. As Godzilla continues battling with Mechagodzilla, and Mothra, getting involved, Godzilla biting off several of her legs. The fight is good. However, Godzilla is able to destroy a good portion of Mechagodzilla's face, and rendering him inoperative. Sorry. Excuse me. Mothra continues the fight. However, Godzilla is too powerful. He's able to deal with her. As Yoshi suits up, he says, I'm in the field. I'm going to go fix Mechagodzilla. And this really cool scene happens. As Yoshi is going to Mechagodzilla and fixing him, he's actually talking to other mechanics back at the Mechagodzilla Center. They actually have the diagrams, they have the blueprints, they got all this really cool stuff, and they're telling him how to fix things over the way. It's just, I don't know why, but I think that's really cool. As the Shobijin, they clear a couple of paths for him to show him a quicker way to Mechagodzilla. Godzilla does something awesome. But before he does that, our twin Mothra larvae show up. And Godzilla kills the adult Mothra. Straight up. Awesome, but then the Mothra larvae eyes begin glowing red, and they attack Godzilla. Okay. Mechagodzilla is fixed, and is able to rise to its feet, And the fight continues. As Godzilla is distracted by the Mothra larvae, Mechagodzilla has this new weapon, the drill hand. And he stabs it into Godzilla's abdomen, ripping a huge hole. What they replaced the Absolute Zero gun with is this triple hyper maser. And along with the mouth maser, they all fire into the same hole into Godzilla's abdomen, causing massive pain, massive damage to Godzilla. Pretty much unable to roar, as our Mothra larvae have to interject and they have to web him up. Just like in Mothra vs. Godzilla. Okay. And the Prime Minister says, okay, that's it. Let's deal with Godzilla, and then we'll send Mechagodzilla back to where he came from to end all of this. Because the Shobijin, you know, with the big religious symbolism in the film, so repeat the same saying that you can't mess with the dead and stuff like that. So, as things seem grim for our King of the Monsters, Mechagodzilla begins running amok again, but not in the same way he did in the last film. He actually refuses to kill Godzilla, and actually grabs a hold of Godzilla and wraps some tow cables around him and decides to fly out to sea. Problem is that during all of this commotion, Yoshi had to go inside of Mechagodzilla to help fix him, and his exit door got melted. So he's trapped inside of Mechagodzilla. As one of the white herons is following, they see that the hatch is still melted shut, able to shoot off the hatch. And one of the most bizarre scenes of the film, Mechagodzilla actually turns over as it's flying with Godzilla in his arms. A webbed up Godzilla, by the way. And Yoshi begins to fall out of Mechagodzilla, and he looks at this control panel that says Sayonara Yoshi. So either it's Mechagodzilla that is friends with Yoshi, that thanking him for everything, or the spirit of Godzilla is inside of the mechanics saying goodbye to Yoshi. Okay. Yoshi falls out. The White Heron's able to mount a rescue as Godzilla and Mechagodzilla fall into the sea, the Japanese trench, and they begin sinking for a long time. As Yoshi is saved by his other team members, and our twin Mothra larvae swim back to Infant Island with our Shobijin. Ending the film. We look underwater, and Godzilla and Mechagodzilla are still sinking. Okay, what do I think about this film? As a sequel to Godzilla against Mechagodzilla is very good. I like how they picked up with it. Ditching Akane, I don't know if it's because Yumiko Shako didn't want to come back and reprise her role in a full way for this next film, where they're leaving her out. I don't know exactly. So it's a bummer that she wasn't in this film. I would have liked to see her go round 2 with Godzilla again inside of new Hyper Mechagodzilla. I thought that would have been really cool. The bringing back Mothra for this, the jamming Mothra into this film, you know, of all the monsters, why couldn't they pick another one? You know, don't get me wrong, I pick on Mothra, but I jest. I'm kidding. I just feel they could have used a different monster for this. I don't know. I wish they picked a different one. The thing about the Millennium series is that it's supposed to be different and it's supposed to give other monsters a chance. You know, this is the second film that they're sticking Mothra into in the Millennium series, and when we talk about the next film, we'll see that it's not the last time they'll stick her in one of these films. Godzilla is awesome in this film. Let's get that out of the way right now. Godzilla is awesome. The design is awesome. The roar is awesome. Whenever he charges up his atomic breath in this film, it always feels like he's struggling, giving along the idea that his chest is badly damaged from the Absolute Zero gun from the year before, and just really awesome. Mechagodzilla is also awesome. I miss and I don't miss the Absolute Zero gun, because with the Absolute Zero gun, one hit, you're done. Okay, even if it hits like a finger or something, that'll spread, it'll just, you're done. With the Hyper Maser, yeah, it's used only once, but you know, if Godzilla was at 100%, that seems to be a weapon that had been used like several times, so that means the fight would have been longer, and to see more Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla actually would have been cool. So, what do I give this film altogether? Well, Godzilla, Tokyo, S.O.S, I have to give this film also an A. You know, I miss Akane in this film, you know, but the story was awesome as a sequel. It hit all the right spots, and it feels like a really great continuation. I believe this film is the last Millennium series Godzilla film. Well, you'll see why I mean when we talk about our next film. The last film that TOHO did, Godzilla Final Wars. Okay guys, this is Gojin851 saying goodnight. See y'all later. Please like, comment, and subscribe.